Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a political system that many struggled to understand. In the year 1800, in the United States, there was an election that would determine the nation's fate. The current president, John Adams, a fat and tiny man, had his fair share of controversy while he was in command. Adams had made many enemies in his day, and his friend, Alexander Hamilton, had this to say.
When it comes to this election, Adams isn't my pick. He's short-tempered, rude. Let's be frank, he's a dick.
Adams was doomed to fail politically after this terrible disgrace. His party, the Federalists, needed somebody to elect in his place. Alexander Hamilton was the only other significant member, but there was that one little incident that everyone loathed to remember. When Hamilton was accused of stealing money, he got that situation handled. Unfortunately, he dealt with it by confessing to a sex scandal. Without a proper candidate, the Federalists were unsure, so they looked to the opposing candidates, Jefferson and Burr. Thomas Jefferson was no good. He was too attached to the French, and his propensity for slavery left a rotten stench. Meanwhile, Aaron Burr appeared much more benign, and if it meant keeping Jefferson out of office, they thought anyone would be fine.
We'll throw our support behind Burr and give him this election,
the Federalists declared, expecting no objection. But the result of the first vote made everyone cry when Jefferson and Burr ended with an exact tie.
This is an outrage! Absurd!
Cried Jefferson, red-faced.
Burr, stand down. The VP seat is your rightful place.
Burr replied,
Of course, I understand. I'll do as you say.
He began campaigning for himself the very next day. The electoral deadlock seemed to last for lifetimes, as the recount was held 35 additional times. In this moment of great chaos, while the votes were in session, the people talked of rebellion, riots, and even secession. With all sides waiting for someone to give way, Alexander Hamilton had this to say.
While I freely admit I am not Jefferson's fan, Aaron Burr is an egotistical, power-hungry young man. Jefferson may take us to war for the sake of France's national health, but Burr would do the same for the sake of his own wealth.
Finally, with these words, the deadlock came to an end. Jefferson became president, and Burr was soon condemned. Burr's political career quickly ended after all of his plans went awry. It also didn't help much when he shot a guy. The country, meanwhile, reeling from this event, tried to solve the problem in the future by passing the 12th Amendment. From that day on, the nation lived happily ever after, and every election went smoothly. All of them. Not really.